All right, day 5 of the Economy Creators Challenge. Thank you for being here with me all week and going through all these exercises for yourself. It's really not for me, it's for you. So there you go. I'm glad you're doing it for you. So I did put in the chat the day 5 worksheets, but before we start that, I would love to hear something that popped up as you were creating your economy yesterday, doing the mind map and all of that. What is something that you really want to direct your attention to in the next few months or so? To direct your attention to building inside of your economy? Is it something that you've already done that you want to enhance, or is it something brand new? Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. What do we think?
Well, as I was starting to listen to the book, I remembered that Canos, there's a restaurant in Seattle, the best one is Canos Restaurant, and I someday would like to be there. I've never been there before. Um, and that I had earned, my foot in the door. Um, had forgotten that I had that wish a long time ago and that, people were there to honor me. And it just popped up while I was listening to that Born Rich. And I haven't put it on my list yet.
Well, write it down
I couldn't
before
remember
you
the
forget
name of
again.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point of forgetting about something, and they're like, "Oh, I forgot I've always wanted to do that." And sometimes we just get so familiar with those desires that we forget to really give them any credence, you know? I like that. I like that. What are they honoring you for?
Well, I haven't decided on that. But I did write, okay, that what I'm going to do in the next 12 months is speak, be paid $100,000 for my work for the year, um, and start another book. And
Ooh.
I don't haven't very much thought about that, but I'm realizing there could be enough material for another book.
Of course, there's always enough material for another book. That's what I believe.
The surprise that I put down was that I would become a hot date in the next 12 months.
Ooh. I love it. Cool. I love it. Awesome. What about you, Pat? What do you want to focus on?
I want to get 15 new clients. I'm going to sell a farm.
Yay. I'm still on the farm.
Yeah. I had a dear friend, I don't know if any of you knew Doris Sickledorf. And
No, you
talked,
told me about her.
yeah, we talked for 2 years over every Tuesday afternoon. And in one of the discussions, she talked about she had this farm that she'd inherited. She was going to leave it for her son. Her son says, Mom, I don't want the farm. Sell it, spend the money. So we got to talking about some of my situations, and she just says, Sell the damn farm.
All right. All right.
Oh, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna put that on my list. Huh. I have somebody interested, so
Do
it
it.
it could happen.
Act on it. Yay. I love it. 15 new clients. I like that it's very specific. That's great. And selling the damn farm.
I love the way she said it. It's very determined.
Yes. Yes. Hi, Dorothy. How are you?
Muted.
There
Hi,
we go.
Mary. I'm
Hi.
fine.
Good,
Hi,
good. It's
everyone.
good to
Hello.
see you. Dorothy,
Same here.
what do you want to focus on in the next 6 months to a year in your economy?
Yeah, I'm focusing on running my programs. I would want to work with two schools, the church, and run two IDP trainings. for skills and personal development. And then I'm focusing on building networks with other NGOs, local NGOs with me here. In fact, I'm meeting with one of them tomorrow. He wants me to be a resource person at her programs as well. So,
Good. Oh, do you feel like things are happening?
oh yes, they are. They are.
Yeah,
And I'm
they look
happy.
like they're happening. Yes. Oh, I'm happy for you. That's wonderful. I love it. I love it. Yay,
Thank you.
Dorothy. Yeah. Good. Awesome. Brian, that leaves
Yeah.
you. What are you working on, bro?
What am I working on? I'm working on my economy blueprint. I'm working on my chapter in the Economy Creators Anthology. And this week, because of this inspired challenge, I have decided to go ahead and stop procrastinating on my course. And my course is around the idea of creating the beginner's anti-hype guide, or more sexy, ramp. The beginner's anti-hype on ramp to affiliate marketing.
Ooh, good.
And I've been starting it and working on it and piecemealing, just going step by step. And the funny thing is, um, sometimes when we get enthusiastic about an idea, we just start going gangbusters. And I just put in that idea 2 days, 3 days ago, and into my chat GPT. And I thought, oh my God, I gotta pull back the reins. Oh my God, what have I just done? So now I'm creating a systematic standard operating procedure for creating courses. And I got the idea from Mary because Mary gave me an SOP for the Magnet 30 challenges. And if you're not in Magnet 30, then you may not know what I'm talking about. But it is something you have to, and I've noticed over the past 6 months of working with ChatGPT that I am learning how to train it to be a specific assistant. Now I feel like I've cloned my ChatGPT, which his name is affectionately known as Chevy, as my co-pilot. I can, because he knows me much better now. He knows me a lot more deeply than he did 6 months ago. And so
Hmm.
And the whole point around GPT and AI is pattern recognition. And so I've taken a really scientific, systematic approach to creating this course with the aid of ChatGPT. But that's not the only thing that I'm going to see coming out of this course. And it's yet to be revealed, but I want to share how I created the course. And I want to share how to do it with something you've already created, like an asset, like you already have a podcast, or you have a blog, or you have a video or a Zoom call that you did a little piece of training with that was really meaningful. And you can take that and have your GPT help you create a course with that. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right now I'm feeding in material that I've already gathered over the last 3 or 4 years that works for me, my own processes. And I'm just gonna, start from the very beginning and not let ChatGPT be the main creator. I'm the main creator.
I love it. Yay, you're the director.
I'm the director. I'm the captain. He's my first mate.
Cool. Well, good. I love it. Action, action, action. That's what we're going to be talking about today is taking action because we can wish and we can hope and we can dream all we want, but we have to actually take a step in order for it to make any any headway in the physical world. The very first thing we need to do is write it down, though. That's what Napoleon Hill talks about in The Science of Getting Rich, no, and Think and Grow Rich. He talks about the fact that the first step to transmute your desire into the physical world is to write it down. It gets it out of your mind and onto paper, and we can physically see it, touch it, interact with it. And that is the very first step. But getting ahead of myself. So let me share my screen, and we are going to talk about day 5. So This is all about decision and implementation. Both of those are actions. When we decide, we make a decision. We stop wondering and we say, this is it. So now, once we decide, we can create a plan. And as we start creating a plan, we start moving on that plan. We begin the journey. So we know what we want from day one. We know what had been holding us back up until day two, right? And then who we have to become in the process in order to be the version of us who has the things that we want, the economy that we want, and what our economy could look like yesterday. Now we create a plan to get started. And Napoleon Hill is very clear on this too. It's a plan to start. It's not the whole plan because we don't see everything from our vantage point here. We can't see what the universe enters into our world. We don't see the opportunities that will present themselves in a month's time. But we know what today looks like, and we can act today. So we don't have to worry about this perfect plan. It evolves. Our goal does not evolve. It stays until we reach it and then it evolves. You know, you can make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But our plan shifts to match what opportunities come our way. Our goal stays stationary. So don't get caught up in perfectionism. Get get caught up in action. Okay? That's what I really want you to think about. So learning how economy creators think is kind of what we're working here. We're reverse engineering our desires, and we're going to go through the process of all of this today. They start with the end in mind. So we have to know where we're going to land. Like Pat said, 15 people, 15 new clients. Sharon said $100,000 and being celebrated at that awesome restaurant, right? We have we have these landing spots in mind. And then taking immediate steps forward because we can only act now. We can't act tomorrow. We can't act in the past. We can't act next week. We can act right now. So what can we do now? Let's say you want to sell your house and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to sell this house. Well, guess what? You're going to need a real estate agent. Call the real estate agent. That's step one, right? That's an easy thing to do. So each step is actually quite simple. Now, easy is actually the wrong word. Simple is the right word, right? It's simple to do, but not always easy. So keep it simple and just focus on that one step that you can do right now. And then, of course, economy creators research and learn and lean in and take the next right action. And they build belief by doing, not by waiting. How many times have we waited and just waited for inspiration to hit and waited for this to happen and waiting for that? It doesn't happen. You need to take that step in order for that to be mirrored in your life. So let's start with exercise one. It's reverse engineering our goal. So at the end of 6 months or 12 months, whatever it is that you want, start with the outcome and then we'll work backwards. So in one sentence, write your 12-month economy goal. And if you want, you can do a shorter term goal if you choose to, but I have a 12-month goal and I like 12-month goals. I love 90-day goals, but I think that for the purposes of this particular exercise, let's go longer than 90 days. Let's go at least 6 months to a year. What's your 12-month economy goal in a year? And so you're going to write that down. And for extra credit, right? I am so happy and grateful now that, and then write your goal per Bob, right? And after you get your goal written, in the member portal is a goal card that you can download. and carry with you. Bob would say, or he does say every day in my ear, that if you write your goal on a card and you carry it with you, I guarantee you it must happen in your life.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So you'll all have a goal card that you can download and print. And you can write your goal on it. Now, after you do that, ask yourself, if this were already true, what things would I have needed to do right before this happened? Right? So, um, right, we're gonna look at what 3 milestones are working backward from your goal. Let's say, mm, let's say the goal, well, let's use Pat's example of 15 clients. If it's 15 clients by the end of the year, I don't know, is it going to be at the end of the year? Well, we'll just make it easy. It's the end of the year. Yep, 15 clients. Well, guess what? She would have also needed to have 10 clients. And before that, she would have to need 5 clients. And before that, she would have to have needed at least 1 client, right? And so, what are those milestones along the way? Okay. And you could do 15, 12, and 5. You could break it up however you want to, however makes sense to you. But if getting that one is important, will feel like a good milestone, then put the one. Do you know what I'm saying? Put that one in there. I got that client. And then that'll add momentum for you. Whatever will fuel your passion to keep moving forward. For instance, if I'm writing a book, I need, before I can publish the book, the 3 milestones would be, well, it has to be typeset, right? It has to be ready for publication. So it has to be all typeset and laid out and printed and all of that. The cover has to be done. That would be milestone 3. Milestone 2 would be that um, it would be the manuscript would be completed and edited, and then milestone 1 would be, well, I have this outline and I need to write that darn rough draft. I got to get that started, right? So there are 3 milestones there. And if you need to, you can make more milestones than 3. And like I said down here, it doesn't need to be perfect, just directional, right? What direction are you headed in? Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that?
Can I change mine?
Yeah, sure.
I said, as I was writing it out, I said instead of 15, if I did 20, that would be 5 for each quarter. 5
Oh,
new
there.
quarter.
Yeah, I love
15
it.
add up. So I thought, let's make it 20.
Let's let's make it 20. I do love that. That's great. And I love that you increased it rather than decreased it. Haha. That's important too.
Mhm.
Good. Anybody else have a question? Okay. So the second exercise will be choose your first research step. So Ryan's talking about how he's gathering this information for his course and kind of going back in his notes and revisiting what makes sense for him and those types of things. What has worked for him in the past and what are some things that he wants to add in there. So we need to do some research to get ourselves prepared to take on this project. So it can be your own research, right? Ryan's going back into his archives and check out what works. He also actually used the SOP that I created for him as kind of a springboard for him. So he can look and see how I designed that so he can kind of use that for inspiration, right? Maybe YouTube videos will help him figure stuff out. Other online courses deciding, oh, I don't like that one. I like the layout of this one though. But those types of things, you can do some research that way. If you need extra coaching or extra mentorship in some sort of direction. If you need someone someone who has a podcast and you need to listen to some podcasts about coaching or about creating courses or something like that, maybe reaching out to industry leaders, checking out websites, LinkedIn creators, whatever it might be. List a few sources that you're going to need to just kind of check out and research to help you on your path. You know, if you're writing a book, generally you do a little bit of research involved in the book, you know, especially, well, really any book. If you don't have all of the information in your mind at that moment in time, right? So list your research sources. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I want to
Mhm.
add something about the websites.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just good to look how other people have got their website set up to give inspiration to how you can do it.
Yeah.
You're not copying them, you're just getting ideas.
Hmm.
And if one thing jumps out at you, it's worth looking, doing the research.
Yep. I agree. I agree. Absolutely. Because it's so easy to get caught up in going, oh, I just have to put all this stuff on my website and I don't know where to put it. But if you have a design, if you have some sort of blueprint for yourself, that can be very beneficial. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Pat. Anybody else have a question or comment about the resources? All right. And then the next step is to list your first 6 action steps. Small steps, immediate steps, no waiting. So if benchmark number 1 or milestone number 1 is to write the outline of your book, um, well then, or write the first draft of your book, well then you have to write an outline. So number 1 is decide what you're going to talk about in your book, right? Number 2, outline it so you know where you want to put stuff, and what ideas you want to keep in there. And then number 3, start writing. Right? So, 6 action steps that you can take in the next 7 days. And they can be simple steps, doable actions. Maybe you need to reach out to somebody in particular. Maybe you need to research, like Pat said. Maybe you're going to check out 3 websites and just see how they're laid out and see how they did it and kind of pick one to emulate, right? Research pricing. Maybe you need to check in on how you would price your services or your book or your course. Um, One thing that I did is reverse engineer my goal. Bob always says make $1 million look small. And so I whittled mine down to what I can do in one day. What is my daily goal in order to reach this big, huge goal, right? And so if it's a certain dollar amount, how many books do you need to sell today? Or how many clients do you need to bring in today? And that was kind of helpful for me because what happens is that in my mind, I can try things today. And if I didn't get the exact outcome that I wanted, I know what didn't work. And then I can try something different tomorrow. And I don't have to wait 6 weeks to see if it works. So that's what I really liked about whittling it down to what is today's goal, right? Does that make sense? I like that one. And maybe it's write an hour today, you know, write for an hour and get my book done. Get a part of my book done, get a chapter of my book done. Um maybe it's get a um like for Ryan for a course, maybe it's get the modules figured out. How many modules am I going to have? Or, whatever it might be. And so pick a kind of a way to break down your steps into smaller increments. And they're more doable and they're not eating the whole elephant. They're eating one bite at a time. Right? And I don't eat elephants. Ah, so there are some ideas here for you, and maybe it comes down to, you know what, I can't work in this space. I need to organize this first because order is heaven's first law. So maybe you need to start there, right? So, does anybody have any questions about that? Okay.
Mary,
So
when
then
you say
there,
about
go
organize,
ahead.
I was just going to quick say, you said about organizing, they say that clutter will drain more energy than if you worked out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
your inspiration, everything, you just
I agree with that. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, thank you for that, Pat, because I wanted to piggyback kind of on that, because after we went through, our self-image, and I'm working on that this week. So naturally, in relationship to my goal and the six action steps that I'm, my first steps that I'm taking, the one that you had suggested is journaling on your self-image. What I think is so important in that for me is because I want to be seen as I I I want to move from just being, an affiliate that promotes other people's product to a, like I say, a super affiliate that has their own product and is a trusted resource for other new affiliates. And so the other action step would be to, watch videos of people that I want to emulate that are very successful, that are super high level affiliates, consistently making over six figures a year and seven and sometimes more, but as well as um, talking to them more. I know some, so I can reach out and dish a little bit about what I'm up to and say, hey, there's some things that I learned from the products that I've promoted from you that I've implemented, and I'm going to be forthright and candid because there are many tried and true principles in any kind of craft, and a lot of it can be duplicated. When I was in human resources, there were more than 1,000 ways to skin a cat. When you
Mhm.
interpret it, the whole human resources field, it's like whenever somebody asks you a question, usually the standard answer is it depends.
That's
And
right.
so I know that at the same time, I really appreciate what the leaders in the good white hat leaders, not the black hat leaders, not the ones that are creating all kinds of hype and scam and this and that, but the ones that are really doing the solid work. And I definitely, if there's any specific type of technique or tool that I've adopted that someone else taught me, then I would definitely attribute it, just like I would attribute, the things that I've learned from you, Mary,
Thanks,
and from
Ryan.
Bob, Bob Proctor and it's Wallace C. Waddles, Napoleon Hill, all in the mindset space.
hmm
The same thing in
Well,
the
and
affiliate market.
Bob would always say, he said, I can brag about all of this because none of it is mine. He said he said all of this stuff I got from all of these other greats, right? So he
Yeah,
says I can
I
really
mean
brag.
that's really the premise of where I'm coming from. But what I'm doing is I'm I'm privileged to have, people around me in my immediate circle that are wanting to learn affiliate marketing, but they're very challenged in that area. They're just like it's like it's foreign language. They're trying to learn a foreign language, if you're a kid and learning a foreign language, it's much easier than if you're like a 50-year-old adult learning a foreign language. It can be quite daunting. And so I want to make it, because I know who my audience is. And that's another thing that, another step would be in if you're addressing, either a course or a book or a business or a niche, who is your audience? I know one of
Mhm.
our members who is in the human design, Larry, who's been on the calls this week. I don't know why he's not here now, but it's Friday. Um, I know that he's actually thinking about, well, who is it do I really want to serve? So that might be another question that we want to answer.
That's a great one. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Ryan.
I
Yep.
want I want to mention that kind of along with Ryan's comment is after our class yesterday, I had 3 people who reposted something I'd posted in the day earlier, I think the day, and it wasn't
Ah,
it seemed all that amazing, but I made a point to like compliment them so much because the last 3 weeks or so I've been saying I have all the support I want.
yes.
And here they showed all up at the same day. I have one guy that usually does repost, and he wasn't one of those 3 yesterday.
Oh, look at. I
And
love it.
I felt so blessed and made a big fuss about it and made it public. It wasn't just to them. I said I have not had support in my life, and so this really matters to me. And I just wanted to share that.
Oh, and now you do. See? Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we were talking all about circulation yesterday, and Alex said, yeah, that was so good. Perfect. So there's space for you to list your action steps for the week and do that every week, right? So as we go through this, we were talking about circulation yesterday, and remember, each day this week as being a part of the Economy Creators Challenge, you're earning economy credits, and those can be used to go towards a program or something that I offer in my economy to help you. But what I really want you to think about is what resonated with you the most over this last week. Was it the idea of circulation? Was it the idea of working with other people and helping each other circulate your value and their value and working together? Was it really thinking about how to um, learn about and work with the universal laws so that you're working with the law and not against the law, right? In the sense that you are, um, you know, using the law of cause and effect to your advantage, and also understanding what your intellectual faculties are and using those to your advantage, right? So, for instance, one of our intellectual faculties is our imagination, and we can let that thing take us to places we don't want to go, or we can point it in the right direction, right? So there are 6 intellectual faculties. So think about how what would help you most evolve into your new economy, whether it's reaching out to and working with other people and collaborating that way. Because if that's the case, then I mentioned yesterday the collab that I'm creating would be a great place for you to start, because that I'm going to be creating this space. It's virtual, it's not in Tucson. It's a virtual space for us to figure out, tell each other what we want to share with the world, and then we help each other share it, right? Much like Sharon was just talking about with these other 3 people who reposted her post. It feels good first and foremost, but it also gets it out into the world, and that's what we're here for. That's what we really want. We have big goals, and so we can't do it in a silo. We need people. So that's the idea behind the collab. And then the other options in the personal development realm is understanding the laws and understanding how to work with them, how to really take control of your mind, essentially, is what that is. And so if that you believe is going to help you move forward in your economy, then I want you to think about that, because I can help you with that for sure. And we have a wonderful mastery group who meets twice a week for the mastery program with me, but also you know what? They show up every day, these mastery students, and that dedication is what is getting them to move forward with such great strides. And so, if you want to be a part of something like that, let me know too, because I can help you with that. Everyone should be scheduling a clarity call so I can help you figure out the best way to keep moving forward with your economy because that's what I do. So, I'm going to put the clarity call in the um, link in the chat here. Go ahead, Sharon. What did you want to say?
Well, you have also mentioned Magnet 30.
Hmm. Yep. So Magnet 30 is a community, a personal development community, and that is based around 30-day challenges to help you just keep in the practice of personal growth and development and open up your mind to new ideas and it kind of introduces you to the laws of the universe and positive thinking and moving forward. It's also a great community where we get to know one another and we share with each other what we're working on. There's a mastermind each week, and I have workshops each month. And we also do a little thing called Lunch with Bob, and I pick a program that Bob shares, and I share a video with Bob, and then we talk about it and discuss it and do that. So Magnet 30 is a wonderful community. I can share that with you too. So let me grab all my links because that would be good. But the first thing I'm going to share is the clarity call here. Let me get that. Does anybody else have Ryan, do you want to talk about Magnet 30 a little bit?
Yeah, Magnet 30, I call Magnet 30 the flagship to Magnet Mind Development. Besides the main community group, in regards to a community of people that have skin in the game. In order for you to be a Magnet 30 member, you have to enroll in a course, and it could be as simple as the foundations course that we have for the book Think and Grow Rich.
No, you were
And
born rich.
Think and Grow Rich. You were you're going science and getting rich, and then
I know.
yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
We're calling each other out. It's okay.
You were born rich. And it comes with a workbook, and it's something that we give to, it's a gratitude gift to our members who want to take their learning further, that are in the Magnet Mind Development community at large, which is around 2,200 members in the large Facebook group. But the folks in the Magnet 30 community are people that are taking their interest in personal growth and development, and they're sinking their teeth in it, and they're actually putting this out there and saying, I believe in investing in my own personal growth and development. So you can have access to Magnet 30 just by being in the Foundations course. And with Foundation, it's $11, but you also it's $11 a month, but you get a gratitude gift of $11
A month.
and
Yeah.
a month, and not just once, but a month. So you can get into Magnet 30 just by enrolling in Foundations. And that's based on Bob's You Were Born Rich book. And we
Yeah,
also
I
have,
created a course on it.
yeah, we have a whole path to mastery, and this is the entry point before we get into deeper stuff. Another one is the Mind First Introduction course, which is transformation at the level of self, understanding how the mind works. If you're really new to mindset development and the laws of the universe, and how our mind is set up as a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and how all that works, and how to navigate that landscape. And it's perfect for newbies that are just getting into mindset work. But if you've been around the block for a little while, and you know Bob Proctor, you've been around metaphysics, you've been around, studied a little bit this and that, You Were Born Rich, Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, then you can jump straight into Magnet 30 at the aspiration level, right, Mary, and start really
Yeah, that's
digging
what I
into the
put.
laws of the universe. So that's
Yep.
I'm going to let you start. I'm going to
Yeah,
stop talking
no,
and let you
yeah.
take it
So
away.
thank you. That's the link I stuck in there just because that is the one where we work on purpose, vision, and goals. And it helps you map out what your purpose is, your vision is, what your goals are that match, and then taking action steps. It's the one that really mirrors what we're doing here inside of
Of the economy creators,
the economy
exactly.
creators.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's a self-paced course, but there's a weekly mastermind with everyone. And then, of course, if you want to go deeper into it, there is a mastery level, and I offer a 60-day option to really work on lesson one inside of Thinking into Results, which is Bob Proctor's flagship program. And that is to see if mastery level actually is indeed for you, because um, it is a higher level of payment, and so we want to make sure that it makes sense that that's what you want to do. So we offer that at a lower price point at the beginning to do the 60-day trial in there to see how it goes. And with your economy credit for the 5 days, guess what? It's half off to try it out. So you can try that out too. But we can all talk about this when we do a clarity call so you can really get clear. Go ahead, Sharon.
There was something I picked up on. I'd like a little clarification, but I'm not sure what to ask. You mentioned I've been trying to get better about the law of abundance.
Mhm.
And I think what struck me is that I haven't considered that I have flowing through me the law of abundance. Did you speak to something like that about on that first day?
So yeah, so what it is that you have infinite potential flowing to and through you all the time. So the idea behind this is that we are individual expressions of spirit, or if you want to call it God, or if you want to call it universal intelligence or infinite intelligence. And that's inside of us, all around us, throughout the interspaces of the universe, as Wallace D. Waddell says, the formless substance. And so what happens is that this substance, this intelligence is all around us and inside of us, and we have the ability to tap into it and use it. And so that means our supply is not limited in any way, shape, or form, which means there is only abundance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I've always seen abundance being, out there.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
haven't, because that really struck me that, oh, I don't
Yeah.
have to look anywhere.
No, you don't. And isn't that cool? I don't have to look anywhere. I love that. I love that because it's so true. And most of us, if we grew up in the Western world, were brought up and if we were brought up in some sort of religion, we were brought up in a religion that said God was out there somewhere. And instead, I mean, God is in everything. So if he's in everything, he's in us too. And and when we get to really understand that and understand, well, if God is infinite and God is in here, then we're infinite and we have everything we need right here. We don't need anything out here. We need everything in here. And that's really, yes, of course, give yourself a big hug. And that's really what we want to, that's really what we study at a deep, deep level in the mastery course. Wouldn't you say, Ryan? We're really focusing on who we really are at our core
Oh, it's
all the
it's
time.
it's a doozy.
It's a doozy.
I say that it good because you understand, sometimes you may be really successful at something, but you don't know why. Or and the other side is you may be not successful at something and you don't know why. Well, just real simply stated, you learn what both of those areas mean and you know why, and you know how to really take your knowledge to the next level and achieve much bigger and greater things. Um, it takes discipline and you know there are things that I don't know how good you are at following directions, but I was always terrible at it as a kid and even as an adult.
He's getting better at it. We'll just put
I'm much better at it now.
it. Yeah, it is about developing a lot of self-discipline and daily habits that successful people do that other people just kind of go, no, I don't need to do that anymore. I'm not in school anymore. I don't need to do that. Right? Those types of things. Yeah. Any other questions that I can answer for anybody? No. Oh, go ahead, Pat.
This was kind of off the chart there. I had two appointments set up for this afternoon, people that I'd never talked to before, but they set up appointments. They were both no-shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in and got the contact and I got their email and I sent them just a little note, sorry you missed our meeting. If you'd like to reschedule, I'd like to visit with you. And it kicked it back that it wasn't a good email.
Ah.
How do you
Hmm.
handle without getting discouraged?
What did you say?
Without getting discouraged.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that used to happen to me a lot when
Really?
I first started this whole journey. And what I noticed for myself, and I don't know if this is something that you're noticing for yourself, but what I noticed for myself is that I wasn't comfortable always having those types of calls at the beginning. I was just like, maybe I kind of hope they don't show up type of thing. And what happened was that they didn't half the time. And so now I have a different, I'm very, I know exactly how I want to approach my calls, like my clarity calls with people. It's really, all I want to do is learn a little bit more about you so I can figure out how I can best help you. That's really, I honestly, I say that out loud and I write it in my stuff and I really mean it. And so now I'm way more comfortable with having calls with people like that. I mean, it's been years, but I'm very comfortable with that. And now everybody shows up. So I think that, if maybe you want to decide exactly how if you are any way unclear about it or that type of thing, or I don't know.
I enjoy meeting new people. I don't really have a problem with that. Maybe years ago I did, but I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so,
But where I hadn't met the people before, I didn't know who they are.
have you ever had people who you hadn't met sign up for calls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
I said,
Do
like,
you have any idea where they came from?
no.
No, none. Okay.
The only thing I'm thinking of is like sometimes on the alignable calls, you could put in your information
Hmm.
and it could be someone there that I didn't talk to, but someone else saw it in the chat and picked up on it.
Yeah.
But I know the other day it was one that was someone had referred them to me.
Hmm.
And she did contact me to set up an appointment, but then she didn't show up.
Hmm.
Maybe she had second thoughts.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, and sometimes it isn't about us either,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
That was the last lesson I learned at Boeing. If I wasn't responsible for something, to learn to say, oh, well,
Next.
let it go.
Next. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's good.
I think it happens to all of us at one time.
Hmm.
I've been in it for a while and it still kind of hurts your ego a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're like, what's the deal?
The first thing we do is dump on ourselves, and we shouldn't do that.
That's right. Well, and maybe you have an idea of who your ideal client is and they were filtering themselves out.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that.
Mm.
They didn't know what they were missing.
That's right. I would want to talk to Pat. I like Pat.
I like to swallow that pill. Yeah.
There you go. Good. Does anybody have any other questions for me about, taking action or booking your call or anything else that we talked about today?
I think this has
No.
been good.
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 Good. I'm glad.
I just
See you
want,
next week.
I'm going to make a request, and I hope you don't mind, Sharon, but I don't want this to be the last time I see you. I really like you, and I want to see you again, just so you know.
Yay! I like Sharon too.
I think you'd make a great community member in whatever capacity you choose.
Mhm. Yay! Me too. Me too. Yes, 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 indeed. I like that. I like that, Ryan. Thank you.
You're
What did you say,
inspirational. Yeah.
Sharon?
I do have an appointment set up with you. I think it's either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So,
Yep, I saw that. Great, great. Let me ask you, Sharon, did you get an email confirmation from that or not? Out of
uh,
curiosity, because my scheduling is kind of wonky at the moment.
okay. So here's today and Magic Link request. Oh, the one thing that was something else. I wasn't always figuring out how to respond and say it was completed and all that, and so I tried two, three different ways today. Um, let's see. Uh, I don't have something from you since noon, so I'm going to say no. And I am in the right email.
It would have been probably yesterday when you
Oh,
signed up.
oh,
So
okay.
yesterday around 5 p.m.
5 p.m. That was the
my
5th.
time, I guess.
Right. I'm on the West Coast too.
Hmm.
Um, okay, I don't have anything from you since 5 o'clock. No.
Okay. I'll be sure and send you the information for you so you
Thank
can
you.
actually join the call.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Wonderful. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions or comments about this week? Did you have fun? I love this one. I think it's a lot of fun. Yay, good.
It's great. And Dorothy, you've been here pretty much every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard
Yeah.
much from you. It's it's uh it's a great challenge, isn't it?
It is, it is.
Hmm. Yep. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to be sending out information on the collab. It's actually going to be inside of LinkedIn. And there's going to be a group in there, and we're going to do it inside of there. It'll be kind of fun. I like it. I haven't done a LinkedIn group yet, so I'm excited about this whole thing. My
Yeah.
economy is expanding, everybody.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for being with me this week. And I want to learn more about you and your economy. So send me, or let's sign up for a clarity call and I'll figure out how I can help you because I know people, I can refer you to people, I can connect you to people, I can put you on my podcast, all sorts of stuff. So
I
let me
just signed up
know.
for next Tuesday.
What did you say, Pat?
I just signed up for next Tuesday.
Oh, good. Yay. Fabulous. I'll make sure you get your uh your
Confirmation.
Zoom link too. All right. Thank you, everybody. And can't wait to keep talking to you. So we'll see you soon. And I appreciate all your time. Bye.
Yay, we're complete.
Bye-bye.